export SMD skeletal animation and the model, which would be the reference. And you're going to notice something strange with the bones. Because right now all the bones have different parents that have different positions relative to the dragon's pose. So like the wings, the tail, the jaw, everything has different position, and there's nothing like holding it relative to an origin. So what you're gonna notice right now is all the bones are gonna be like just wandering around. Like, let's see, refresh. See our bones. You see all our bones, but they're not the way they should be. So to solve this, I'm going to get a null, just like that, and it's going to be called rig, shadow rig, and then I'm going to select all the members of our envelope group, which is basically all the shadow bones. I'm going to just basically parent them to the shadow rig. So now if you look, I'm going to just not see the constraint links. You see that all the bones are parented to the shadow rig. Let's export again. There's the model. Now the skeletal animation, which is the idle. Let's recompile. And while it's compiling, I can show you that it doesn't really affect us what's parented to what, because I'm just going to save it first. And I'm going to show you the shadow rig. See, since they're constrained, we don't really care if they're parented to the wing, to the hip, to the jaw, or anything. So we will have to work on weights, because right now weights are not really what they should be. But let's take a look. Let's just move this to a rig. There you go. Now we can add a shadow rig and get our bones back. We can animate our wings. Okay, pretty good. Let's see. It looks like. Refresh. And there you go. The hierarchy is not really important as long as you have one null that has all the relative information. So now to test it and to make sure it's working, we're just going to animate the jaw and maybe the wings flapping. We need to move this layer to the rig. There you go. So we can change how this bone looks, like a box, and make it bigger, like that, so we can pick it up more easily, or even a wedge, better yet. And then the same with the wings, at least these bones over here. Let's make them non-wedge, and like that. Just easier to pick up. Now let's try it. Let's do one motion, 3 frames, or even 10 frames would be jaw open, keyframe, keyframe. Let's close the mouse. We'll fix it. Like that. Let's export SMD, skeletal animation. This would be the mouth. Now let's do the flap. Let's remove animation. And let's do a 30 frame. See, key, 30, key, second, key, frame 15, like that, key, something simple to try it, export SMD, and this would be the idle. Let's modify our script. Flap would be, no, this would be, sorry, we created the mouth, dragon mouth, and this would be mouth. So the eye will be flapping and the mouth will be open and closing. Let's run it. And the rest, if this works, the rest would be just waiting, meaning refining your weights, your envelope weights. You can use some of the techniques I show you. Just get all your shadow boxes and just resign locally first, and then refining with the weight painting. Refresh. So there's the aisle with flapping wings, and then the mouth. It's more like a head knot. It's a funny head knot, but it's working. Shadow, ground. We can blend them, mouth and aisle. Let me turn off the bones. So let's just fix the weights in the head. We can see with the animated bone that whenever we rotate the jaw, all the weighting information is being shared between the head all the way to the thorns and the neck. So first thing we need to do is bring up the shadow rig like that, and actually I'm going to select all objects in layer, press Alt 8 to bring up the XSI Explorer. This way you can isolate all the shadow bones. Next thing would be, let's start by selecting the thorns. Just select some of the points in the thorns with T and make with Shift drag select points like that. Press Shift and plus sign to make the selection grow. Be equal to grow selection. And first we're going to assign this. We're going to assign the thorns to the head bone. So we can either do it through here from envelope, reassign locally, or we can go to our paint panel, local reassign to the head bone. So this time when we rotate the jawbone, you can see the thorns are not moving anymore. To make it easy, gonna key and key. Next thing would be the head and the neck area. So we're gonna assign like that, and then just like that, and something like that. Local reassign to these two bones over here, and we miss some points in the neck over here. Something like that. Local reassign, and still some points. You can just come here and do something like that. That's good. And now we have to reassign the jaw points to the jaw shadow bone. We're gonna go to the right view and then just make sure we don't miss anything in this selection. Once we have that, we're gonna grow one more. Local reassign, and then we have jaw moving. And now we're gonna do one more thing, which would be just select all the points in this area. We're just gonna smooth this out. Something like that. Now let's just something like that. Let's see. That's good enough. So you can see, go to W, you can see the weighting. It's a really hard line between these points. So we're gonna apply smooth. And smooth it out. See how that looks? Much better. And you can spend some time really fixing and cleaning up weights. Now when we recompile, we have the mouth animation. You can see we have better weighting. I would still smooth out the neck area, and then probably go ahead and do the wings and the legs and the rest of the body. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you check Noises Interactive for more tutorials, and see you next time. Thanks.